What I've always looked at when I set this place up and going into other people's shops is, would I leave my car there? And there's quite a few shops that I wouldn't do that. You walk in and it's a dump. And it costs a lot of money to make it not a dump. I wanted a shop that I would bring my car to, or truck, or whatever it may be. You kind of pull into a place and you need to kind of have an instant level of trust with whether it be shop manager, shop foreman, or owner, or all three. And then beyond that, with the technicians that are going to be working on it. We're all mechanics here, and engineering background and fabrication, welding, mathematics. We come at it from a complete different perspective and trying to make these things actually work first and look good second. Finding an employee that does this type of work is the hardest thing about this job and this career that I've chosen, because everybody that's worked on a John Deere tractor thinks they can work on hot rods and wire up a custom fuel injection or plumb a brake system or whatever, and it's just not the case. In this shop, it's very hard for me to stop and teach. We're full steam ahead, so I need somebody that's somehow through their life done it already.
Used to build a lot of tractor pulling engines, 750 cubic inch engine. And I've been building engines for probably the last 20 years. And I've done thousands of them, high dollar to stock engines.
I started at a shop. I worked there for 17 years, and I bet you the last 10 I was actually designing and building electrical systems for show cars and concept cars.
I have a young guy that's here with us now, fresh out of Wyotech, where he at least got a year of 40, 50, 60-hour weeks. He came out knowing some things already about superchargers or fuel injection or brakes or how to be careful around these cars.
I went out to Wyotech, graduated top of my class, met Mark at a car show actually. And so I gave him my resume and I kind of told him what I was about and everything. He called me back 6 months later and asked me if I wanted a job. It's a dream come true for me, and it really doesn't feel like work. It's a lifestyle for us. We go home and work on our cars. We're going to car shows on weekends. I mean, this is our life. It's our lifestyle. It's not just a job at all, by no means.
I just love the Tinker. It's just something that it just pulls me to it, Every single day, after I get home from here, then I'm go over there working on my car.
I love working on cars. If I wanted to do something else, I'd do something else. I've done it for 40 years. That's what I love doing. You start on one, you can't wait to finish it to get started on the next one. It doesn't matter whether it's a rat rod, a T-bucket, muscle car, or even just a regular stock car.
I was 19, I went to work for a gentleman in Phoenix at a speed shop, and he took me under his wing. Somehow he saw something in me that maybe somebody else might not have. They might have kicked me to the curb, but got work for him for 13 years and then decided I got more going on at home than I got time for, so let's go for it. And February of '05, I opened up Speed Sports with a small grant, I guess, from my dad, you would call it. He said, here's your college education in a stack of $100 bills, and good luck with it. Here at this shop, we do virtually everything but body and paint. The main thing that kind of put us on the map was the tuning, which is fuel injection tuning or carburetor tuning, and then it's superchargers, turbochargers, nitrous oxide, but dyno tuning. And then after that, we do, we build the engine. If it needs more horsepower, we do camshaft swaps or intake manifolds. We also do engines, custom engines for other shops. One of the feathers in my cap, if you will, I did 3 engines 3 years in a row that were in the running for the Amber Award.
The engine inside the engine room there is an Aries motor. It's a 350 cubic inch. Aftermarket heads, special hand-built intake. It's got a blower on it, and it's supposed to go in a Riddler car. As far as keeping an engine together, it's the basic parts you put in it, they gotta be good. It's cubic dollars is all it is.
As far as the engine building capabilities here, it all kind of stems from my tuning background, because doing the dyno work, you do results on these things, and it was down on power, it was down on torque, or it was this or it was that, and we'd have to find out, okay, he had the wrong camshaft, he had the wrong carburetor, he's got the wrong cylinder heads, he's got the wrong combination. And we want them all to be drivable and user-friendly, and jump in and hit the key, put fuel in it, and go use them. The yellow Camaro behind me is a '69 Camaro.
A guy from Iowa brought it, sat in a barn for 20 years, found like 500 mice in it, stunk like crazy, stunk the whole shop up.
He said, this has been in the family a long time, it's my brother's, let's go through it and do a kind of a mild restoration.
So I tore it all down, got rid of all the mice, had to put floors in it, body panels.
And next thing you know, we've got a 463-inch racing head service based on an LS7. There's not one General Motors part on that engine, but it's LS7 based. It's got a 6-speed manual gearbox, a Ford 9-inch, bare brakes, they're 14-inch rotors, 6-piston calipers all the way around. It's about 750 horsepower. It'll run on 91 octane all day long. It's got a Detroit Speed whole front subframe with Corvette suspension and steering. Just an unbelievable car that just looks like a '69 Camaro, but that's kind of where the similarities stop. The blue and silver 70 Cuda was actually built at a shop in Northern California.
We did the whole fuel injection system on that car. It came in with a carburetor, and we put a whole engine management system on it, fully sequential.
We've done the transmission on it. We've gone through suspension and brakes and plumbing and wiring. It kind of needed a little bit of everything.
You know, now it's a turnkey, no pump in the gas carburetor. It's fuel injected, dyno tuned, high performance vehicle.
It's a real fun car to drive now, and it actually operates now like it looks, so it's pretty cool. The orange Cuda, it had been to another shop. They must have done something wrong and the engine expired. So they ended up at a machine shop here in town, and they referred him over to me, and they said the only way they would do the engine was if we were to tune it. So we got involved in that, did all the tuning, and everything worked just great. I think it made almost 800 horsepower. And then he came back because he smoked the clutch.
So we're going to put a different style clutch in it, last longer than 2,000 miles. A lot of times we get things in that are poorly executed, and we have the means to make them better.
Red Chevelle's kind of our typical customer, if you will. Came in for headers and an exhaust. It already has headers and exhaust.
He bought it at an auction, and his exhaust has been scraping, sitting too low.
We're going to put a complete exhaust system on that. I've already done cylinder heads on it, camshaft on it, carburetor on it.
It's a big block Chevelle. I even believe it's a numbers matching deal. Got some goodies on it. It's got a 9-inch in the rear end.
We did rear disc brakes on it. He bought it as a real nice car, but just wants it nicer. So that's our typical customers, just a slow upgrade kind of guy, and we just love them. It's just fine. Blue 67 Chevelle. He brought that one over with a simple restoration in mind, and we talked him out of it, and we'll go a little more wild with it. We did an LS3, 6-speed manual in it, 12-bolt in the rear.
Put the engine and trans in. I've started the engine wiring on it. Right now I'm actually repairing the dash where somebody had cut a big hole in the center of it for the radio. Patching that in so we can put an aftermarket stereo system in there.
Another couple months we'll be delivering it to California.
Dad was always into cars, and actually now, just this last year, I actually get to build a car for my dad, so that's just been a neat deal. He bought him a 37 Ford, and after growing up, he's probably had 15 street rods over the years, and knowing what his likes and dislikes were of each of those, I'm going to try to gel him a car that he wants to go drive and just jump in it and go enjoy it. He's actually letting me do whatever I want. I told him what color it was going to be last week, but then I picked out the wheels and showed him when they got here, and the suspension was ordered, and then he saw it sitting here, and he's just been great, and kind of I think he understands that I know what he's going to want, and whenever we get it done, and it'll be a neat deal that'll turn some heads.
If you bring your car here and it leaves, it's going to be right when it's done.
Kind of what our specialty has been is fixing the bugs that the other guys leave behind.
I think it's a track record. If nobody else can fix it, bring it to Speed Sports, because we'll be able to figure it out.
You know, it leaves here ready to jump on the highway to California or Egypt. It doesn't matter. They're ready to go.
Mark's a good man to work for. He's an up-and-comer. He's gonna make a big name for himself.